Welcome back from that break. And if you're still there, this is Good Morning Abuja. And now to our first discussion on parenting in the 21st century. We have Hansau Abubakar here with us that will speak to us on this topic. Welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Thank you.
Hajia.
Good
You're welcome on
morning.
the show.
Thank you.
So let's start by asking who is a parent?
A parent is someone that is given the responsibility of raising or bringing up a child. As parents, God gift us or bless us with children to take care of them and bring them up. And parenting, we can say, is a process or an act of training children to become better adults. And this parenting, it has a great variation in which it's being administered from one parent to another. So that is what parenting
Parenting
is.
is all. Okay.
When we talk about parenting and then we are trying to examine a topic like parenting in the 21st century, it makes it look like there's a different parenting style per generation or per century. What is your take? Are there differences between probably how you were raised and how you're raising your own children now?
Definitely, it's so obvious. You can look at parenting in the 80s because we are the 80s generation, whereby children are free to play outside. They can stay up to like 7 playing with other children in the community. Parents have much time to take care of their children at that time. Children are even free to walk themselves down to school. They can express themselves. And I think at that period, children only watch TVs on Saturdays or after school hours. So, and during that time, I think our parents, our neighbors, we see everyone in the community as, yes, this is an elder and this person can take good care of us. And we have to listen to them, irrespective of whether they are in our house or not. And any adult that is in that community feels that sense of responsibility that I have this responsibility to take care of this child so that we can have good youth and leaders of tomorrow. But looking at it in the 21st century, it's quite a different thing with the introduction of technologies. This is a digital age whereby the reverse is the case. Most of the parents nowadays only focus on their gadgets more than they focus on the children. They hardly spend time with these children. They provide them with all these things that can take the what that they feel can make them enjoy and live in the present day technology, forgetting about how our own parents raised us. I'm not disputing the fact that children should be allowed to use gadgets or shouldn't be allowed to be who they are in the 21st century. If we can compare to that period and now, you'll notice that children hardly trek themselves to school, even if that school is in that community. A parent will prefer to go and drop his child due to insecurities that we have now. And sometimes, let me put it this way, overprotection of our children, because we feel it's too small. I can't allow him go there. Let somebody not harm him. And these are things that we'll do with constant monitoring that will help build self-confidence and independence in our children. So I think these are some of the
Variation.
variations in parenting from the previous era and this era. And also, okay, let me stop here.
All right.
No,
Let's
I
come
can
to
talk.
technology. How will a parent of this digital age manage their children using social media?
Before we talk about parenting, I even wanted to say something.
Okay.
As parents, one thing we need to know is when we are ready to take the role of parenting, we have to start looking at ourselves. Who actually are we? Because these children are a reflection of who we are. We can't give what we don't have.
That's true.
So, whatever our children portray outside is a reflection of us. So, as we're taking this role of parenting, we should look at ourselves. Are we fit? Are we ready for this? And what exactly do we want for our children? What do we want to impact in them? What do we want in them? I think for all parents is to raise better and responsible children. But how do we think of doing that? Looking at that period again, I'm going back to the 80s. Like I said, our children give us a lot of their time. We need quality time with our children. We need to build a strong bond and trust with our children before we even start correcting them so that they will trust whatever we are saying. Now, in the social media age, you can balance technology use and social media use if you have a good parent child relationship with the child. Because, like I said, we don't have much time, but the little time we have, we can inculcate and see all these things. This social media is not about you hiding it to a child. Don't look at this phone, or don't look at this phone. You can even hand him over the phone and initiate a conversation with him. Were you able to see on Instagram today, or TikTok? What were you able to see there? You say, oh, I saw a girl dancing. I saw. So now, what do you think about that? Do you think this will lead to a positive outcome later in life? What's the consequence of this? You sit and talk with these children and tell them the implications and the consequences of those of that social media. We can use social media in a good way. You understand? So balancing that technology use and social media use is a very simple thing when you have that good parents relationship, when your children trust you. So you tell them, this is what is going on in current society
Okay.
and
When we
all that.
when we you know you took us back a bit when we talk about the 80s and how children used to be free to play amongst themselves, to walk themselves to school and back, where there was a sense of responsibility upon every adult, irrespective of whether it was from that community or that place or not, to raise that child. Like it was very common to see a child being corrected by somebody who he shares no relation with. Those were the good old days, some people have said. And here we are now, fences at all. Houses don't even know, we don't know
Our
who is in the
neighbors.
other house or how
Exactly.
many there are, what is their source of livelihood, what the dead do, and all of that creates this barrier. So even in the schools, you touch a child now in school, you as a teacher might get fired.
Exactly.
How do we now, at least, if not for anything, build that inclusivity that we enjoyed in our time, so that our own children can also grow up knowing that they were part of something, they were able to enjoy something. I'm talking about physical inclusivity
Of the teachers and
of
all elders in the
the child
society.
and his community and society.
Like I said, and the adage that goes, charity begins at home.
So
Right from when you are raising a child, he sees how you deal with visitors, how you deal with your neighbors, how when he reports someone to you as the parent, you react. This is one of our duties. When an elder correct your child right from the beginning. If a child can come, this person beat me. What did mommy? He's hitting me. He did this. Come, 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 come. He's hitting you because he loves you. He wants to correct you. He is also an elder. Okay? He's not going to hurt. You know, the way you talk to them and make them feel okay. And I know he wouldn't do this if you didn't uh, did something wrong. You understand? So make the child feel that anybody has the right to correct him. And also in school, a child might come and start forming, because I handle school children too as well. A child can come and say, Mom, today my teacher hits me, or he refused to give me my book to write. The next thing is, how will that teacher do that? So it's like he hates you. He say, did that teacher hate me, mommy? I will have to go to that school. They must sack that teacher. From there, you have spoiled it. Because that child will feel, okay, nobody has the right to touch me. But when a child bring stuff like that to you, you have to handle it with politics and care. It's not as if you are going to shun the child or make the child feel, okay, even if I tell mommy, she won't take any action about it. Let me just keep it to myself. That is when issue of bullying will chip in. Even if your child is being bullied, you won't take it. Yes. You know, when a child comes with that issue to you, you say, okay, come. Don't you think there is an attitude you display that your teacher doesn't like and make your teacher behave in that way? I don't think your teacher is there to bully you. And you know, one thing is you have to tell me the truth. What did you do to your teacher? Because I will go to that school, ask your teacher and your classmate, and if you have found wanting of any fault, I'm going to I won't take it lightly with you. I'm going to punish you for that. Are you sure of what you're saying? Oh no, mommy, it was because he asked me to. That is when the child will start talking. Okay, but you know what you did is wrong. He's a teacher. Don't you think he is trying to build you up to make you? You said you want to become a pilot. Your teacher, you have to respect your teacher the way you respect me. When we show that to our children, I don't even think that notion of a child coming to inform parents that this is what the teacher is doing in school, and you start shouting that your child. Though some teachers can go
Yes,
extra mile. After doing that, you keep monitoring the teacher-child relationship. You can even go to the school without even a sign of you are coming to rage your anger on the teacher. So I came in respect of my child. How is my child coping in class? Does he display any unwanted attitude in the class? Does he distract? Or is there any attitude that he's displaying that you think might affect his studies? From there, you have to rub your mind with the teacher and be sincere in your conversation and ready to take correction. So I think that is what we need to do to include everyone in upbringing of our children in this 21st century. And also, when schools are having PTA meetings, I think they need to include programs like parenting programs on how we raise these children, so that teachers will be given chance to voice out challenges they face with the children, and will come to a level that everybody is ready to key in the upbringing of our children.
Let me use this example. While growing up, when my parents have visitors, we the children greet the visitors, then leave the sitting room to our rooms. But you find out these days, when visitors come in, the parents will sit with the children, be chatting with the visitor. Even when the mother is discussing with her friend, the child will be interfering. Why are we having that?
Exactly. I told you we have to know who we are
Okay.
before thinking of impacting any values into our children. We have to start checking ourselves. Who are we? Even though our parents gave us the best during their time, I think we still lack some things, because there is nothing like perfect parent or a perfect person in
Yes.
this world. So what you need to do is you have to sit and think of what is it that you need to improve. Sometimes it's not all about the children, it's about us.
Okay.
It's not all about the children, it's about us, and it's about what you told them. Like I said, when you have those quality times with your child, maybe your parents taught you to greet visitors, serve them water, and leave the room. And you notice your child in this era don't practice that. It might be as a result of you don't frequently have visitors in your homes. That's number one. And these children, their brain keeps moving based on the experience they have. That is why we as parents, you can't say you have finished parenting a child. It's a process. And how do we keep parenting and teaching them and giving them that experience is with the quality time we have with them. You notice a visitor come into the compound, and your child was sitting, maybe he's watching telly or touching the gadget, and he refused to answer the visitor. So person, we have a visitor in the house, come and greet that person. You understand? You have to correct him immediately to come on. Okay, come and say hello to mommy. Come and greet her. And after that, come to the kitchen with me. Take this water and so. So when the person leaves, instead of it, so you are looking at the visitor, you are expecting me to. You understand? You are not supposed to do that as a parent. Looking at the fact that maybe you have never had that episode with the child, you shouldn't think that since I was trained this way, this child is supposed to behave that way. You call that child, come. We had a visitor some few minutes ago, but I wasn't happy with the way you responded or the way you act in front of that visitor. As a responsible child, each time we are having visitors, this is what we are doing. You're not during our time. Our mom, when we have visitors in the house, this is what we do. Sometimes we even cook, we do this. I know you are a good child, and I hope next time when we have visitors, you're going to change. You have corrected the child, and that's
Communication.
with communication. So this parenting issue that we're talking about, before we even achieve whatever it is. These are the key things you have to put in mind as an adult. I am given the role and responsibility to take care of this child that is underdeveloped because his brain is developing. And the reason why you are giving this child is because he doesn't know. You are supposed to train him to know. You should take that. You shouldn't assume this child knows everything. That is number one. Secondly, you should assume without constant and proper communication and building good bond and trust between you and your child, whatever you want to impact is not going to work.
Well, let's just before we go, I know we are running out of time, but one last question. Many people say this 21st century is a century where we train house helps as for our children. The house helps get all the scolding, all the training. We teach them how to greet, how to cook, how to sweep, how to clean, how to behave, how to have adaptability, accessibility, relativity, and our children are taught to be bossy. Very quickly, analyze this for us before we go.
Yeah, actually, like I said, you know, due to the challenges we have in parenting between balancing work life and family life, I think that is what leads to we, the present mothers, seeking for help from outside. But like I said, whatever it is, whatever value is in you, is what you pass on to your children. Even during the days, the 80s, we have people with different personalities. It's not as if those that were in the 80s were very much perfect. You understand? Even at that 80s, there are houses that have house helps. And with the current era we are in, we also have mothers that employ house helps. Like I said earlier, the way you relate to people is like you are passing a message. What you do to that house help is what your children will do to her. And whatever behavior you see your child displaying towards that house help without you correcting it, it keeps repeating itself. It's like it's acceptable for you. It means you have accepted the behavior and you want your child to continue exhibiting. Even apart from the house help, he will go and exhibit that behavior outside. So when you're employing someone to help you, you have to sit these children down and say, "This is also your house help." Show them empathy. Show them how to respect others, irrespective of their background. Accepting a house help, bringing her to the family doesn't mean, why are we bringing her here? Why is she working for us? Mommy, why is you have to put her in school? Who is she to us? You understand? This you are teaching them values. You are teaching them to respect people that they meet outside. You understand? So when they bring this house help, you sit them down. She's going to be helping us. You know, sometimes mommy doesn't come home early. She will help us. You respect her. Whatever she asks you to do, you assist her. You can even tell the children to assist in the house chores because you are helping them to learn sense of responsibility and independence.
Okay, that's
Thank you.
that's
We've learned a
very
lot
true.
today.
Yes, exactly. The conversation is really, really enriching, considering the fact that uh, the responsibility of ensuring the continuity of life and the values that God has talked about both in the two holy books must be maintained and continued lies on us. Like one of my mentor would say, remember that we borrowed the future from our children, even though we inherited the past from our parents. So, to those that we owe the future, we also owe education. And education is all encompassing. It's not just about the education in the classroom, the education actually starts from the home front. Well, our conversation this morning has really, really been interesting. Thank you for coming on the show,
Thank you for
Ansao
coming.
Abubakar.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a nice
So
day.
very quickly, I would like to chip in that why not look around you, see what your kid is doing, check what he is going to do, and have a quick word of education. Give him some education, show him some care, show him some love, do some parenting today. We'll quickly go on a short break. When we come back, the program continues.
I work so hard, you know I don't